Well, hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of ADMG 474. Let's see what we've got to do this week. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss your discussion question. I'm going to review your individual assignment and talk to you about an extra credit opportunity that you've got going on this week. So our first week was, our discussion question was done in the entire class. This week you are going to be doing all of your discussions from here forward in the small discussion groups. You've already been assigned to a small discussion group, so when you go into the discussion and you click on reply, you are automatically going to be replying in your small discussion group, so don't worry about that. If you've never worked in small groups before, that's how that works. Don't just click reply and start talking. So all of the work that we did last week was to get familiar with resources that are out there so that you're able to participate in the discussion questions moving forward. So what you're going to do is you're going to research a current article, and I prefer something within the last year. You know, if it's a couple of years old, don't worry about it, but you want it to be fairly current. You don't want to go back to 1996 and talk about Microsoft Project. You want a current article, and you want it to be related to project selection or project prioritization within the organization. Okay, your focus is on project selection or project prioritization. And what I want you to do is answer the following. You're going to identify the title of the article and the author. You're going to identify the date of the article and the website or the URL where the article was found. You're going to provide a thorough overview of the article. I want to know what was found in the article, and I guarantee you, you're going to need more than a couple of sentences to make that. So that, let's put it this way, you want to write it in such a way that your peers don't have to go out and read the article. Paraphrase, but write enough of an overview about the article so that your peers who are reading your post are going to be able to understand what the main points of the article were about. Now, what I want you to do next is I want you to critically review the article by saying, do you feel it was relevant to the topic, and justify why that article that you found was relevant to the topic of project selection and prioritization. And then, do you agree or disagree with any aspects of the article? So here's where you get to put in your 2 cents. Why do you think and you're going to read from time to time, you're going to read some stuff that just doesn't set well with you, either from your personal experiences or from what you have learned. You're going to read things that are just going to completely disagree. They're going to be contradicting each other. So here's where you get an opportunity to state something to that effect. Okay? So, and the last thing that I want you to say is, how might the information in this article help you be an effective project manager? What did you learn that you can apply to your own work as a PM? Okay? So you're going to answer each of these questions as your initial discussion post. It is due no later than Thursday. And remember, to earn full credit for your discussions, you're going to do an initial post, and then you're going to do 2 peer responses. And your peer responses are due no later than the last day of the week. You need to post 2 different days of the week, and there is a full list of requirements for the discussions that are located in how to successfully complete the weekly discussions. Now, here's the rubric that I will be using to grade your discussions. Remember, the discussions are going to be 10 points apiece. And remember, I mentioned previously that it's 250 words with 2 references to earn all 5 points. It should be well written. You should cover all the bases, APA citations, etc., etc. Okay, so take a few minutes to look at the rubric and make sure that you've got a good understanding of what I'm going to be looking for when I grade your initial response and then your peer responses. Now, your individual assignment this week, if you remember correctly, I mentioned that we're always going to have a project update. So here's our week 2 project update. Although Pat is confident in your abilities as a project manager, you have been asked to do an evaluation of your current skills and compare them with the skills that will be needed throughout the course of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing this project. You're going to be asked to look for skills gaps where you believe that you may not have the skill, or your skills may not be quite up to par. You're going to do some self-evaluation. So where there are skill gaps, you will need to work to put together a plan that should help you bring you up to speed to close those skill gaps. So here's the assignment instructions. You're going to do a number of things. I want to walk you through a few things that you're going to do here. This is a highly reflective activity. Okay, so I want to first and foremost put aside any right or wrong answers. Now, the way you get this wrong is by not putting enough effort into the evaluation part and into the plan for improvement part. But I'll get to that. But first of all, there's no real right or wrong answers. This is a reflective exercise. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you want to take a few minutes to become familiar with what are the project manager behaviors that are necessary to make a good project manager. You can look at Exhibit 3.16, 3.18, 3.19. You can look at the PMBOK on pages 17 through 18, where it lists project managers' responsibilities and competencies. And then finally, there is a really nice article at herdingcats.typepad.com, which is a competency model for project managers. So get comfortable and familiar with what are good skills and competencies for a project manager. Now, what you're going to do next is, if you have not already taken the Type Focus Personality Assessment. Now, I do know that in some of the ITAM classes, students will be asked to complete the Type Focus Personality Assessment. It is free of charge. There is a PDF that is located in the assignment. You can click on the PDF and it will give you instructions on how to go out and complete the Type Focus Personality Assessment if you have not already done it. Now, if you've done it for another class, use what you've already done. You don't need to repeat it, okay? So go ahead and take the Type Focus Personality Assessment if you have not already done so. Follow the instructions in the PDF and make sure that you go through the full assessment. Take some time to think about the competencies that are needed to be a good project manager and your own Type Focus results. Do you have any areas? Do you have what you feel are all the skills needed to be a project manager? And if not, well, we can learn those skills. We can put a plan together to get you up to speed. But the first thing you need to do is you need to know what the skills and competencies are, and you need to be able to reflect on your own skills and competencies. So the third thing you're going to be doing after your self-reflection is you're going to open up a project manager competency assessment worksheet. Now, there is a template that's also attached where you're going to record your personal assessment based on the Type Focus results, based on any personal experience or training that you have, based on any educational classes you've taken. You are going to evaluate each of a number of areas, and you're going to rate yourself in these areas. So the first thing, each competency identified, you're going to rate your personal level of competency as a 0 to 5, 0 being nothing and 5, I got this. I'm a master at this. And I'm going to show you this in just a minute. So hold on, give me a second. I'm going to walk through this, but then I'm going to show you the actual worksheet template for you. Okay. Then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to wherever you have rated yourself at a level, you're going to provide evidence for every single rating, because I want to make sure that we understand where you're getting your proof. You're providing some proof to support your assessment. You can use the Type Focus results, you can use your education, professional experience, personal experience, whatever, but you need to be able to support your assertion that you're a 4 in a particular area. Why? What makes you a 4? What makes you a 5? What makes you a 3? Okay. And then finally, for any of the competencies that you identify at 3 or lower, you're going to prepare a plan for improvement. So hold on. Here's the worksheet. All right. Notice that the skills and competencies are listed down the column on the left. Things like leadership, persuasiveness, influencing, negotiating, motivation, decision making, team player. These are the competencies that you are going to be rating yourself at. Now, the second column, the rating column, these numbers that are currently there are just examples. You will be replacing these numbers with your own assessment. These are just sample numbers. Okay. Now notice when it's a 4 or a 5, it's green. When it goes to a 3, it's yellow, and when it goes to a 0, 1, or 2, it turns red. So you can see this as you rate yourself in leadership and persuasiveness. As you rate yourself, you may see the color change. Okay, it's important to know that. Then in the next column over is your evidence to support your rating decision. Each thing that you have, you want to make sure to put down some evidence and be very specific. Be really specific. Then, of course, the last column is your improvement plan. You want to be sure that you can provide some kind of way that you're going to think to get those 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s up to a little bit of a higher level. Now, it can be a simple plan. Your plan can be as simple as maybe some self-study, some reading, maybe some internet research, maybe a Coursera class or some other kind of training. Maybe you know that you'll be able to improve your leadership skill because you're going to be taking the leadership class in ITAM coming up in the next term or something like that. So maybe your plan for improving your leadership is we'll be taking ADMG. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the class, but you get my thing. So that might be your improvement plan, is to to take the ITAM leadership class. But you're going to want to have some kind of plan, and your plan can be anything. Your plan can be to read a book, to investigate a particular website, or do some internet research. But you want a plan. You want to show evidence to support how you rated yourself and why you rated yourself a certain way. And then if you have a deficient area, what are you going to do to bring up that area of deficiency? Okay, so here are some ideas for plans for improvement. Here's the rubric that I'll be using to grade this. The competency assessment is worth 15 points. The ratings are worth 20 points. And again, the ratings include that evidence, that important evidence that will need to be provided to support all of your assertions regarding your ratings. And then your development plan. All ratings of 3 or less should have a carefully crafted and well-defined development plan as appropriate for that competency. Okay, so you want to make sure that whatever you decide you're going to do is going to be is going to get you the skills that might be missing in that particular area. Okay, so again, 75 points total. I place a lot of value on this assignment, so I really want you to take the time to make this a good self-reflective activity. No right answers, no wrong answers. It's all about how you feel, where you are at now, and what it's going to take to get you to where you need to be an alpha project manager. All right, extra credit. I promised that I would be offering some extra credit for Microsoft Project Training. So in Module 2, you'll notice that there's some Microsoft Project tutorials that you can complete. There are 3 of them that you can complete to earn some extra credit. For each one that you decide you're going to complete, you can earn up to 10 extra credit points. So for completing all 3 of them, you would earn 30 extra credit points. But more importantly than the extra credit points will be to get some hands-on solid skills using Microsoft Project. Now, I do want to warn you that the tutorials do refer to Microsoft Project 2010 instead of 2013 or even 2016 for that matter. So the sad truth is that those PDFs are going to be showing you images and pictures and telling you to click here, click there, and it's 2010. I think you can figure it out. Most of my students in the past have been able to figure it out quite easily and still complete the tutorials. All right, so I do want to point that out to you. I want to stress that the skills you learn will be applicable across any version, so please keep that in mind. All right, don't forget you have a quiz that's due on Sunday, and if you have any questions, reach out to me via email, Skype, call me, whatever you prefer to do. Have a great week, and don't hesitate to let me know how I can help you. Take care.